How's it going, everyone? The 1MFP here. I hope you're all doing great today. And if I had to guess, at least at the time of me recording this video, if you clicked on this video, you're probably having a great day because 21 Pilots just released their new track, Overcompensate, along with the music video, and this morning they dropped the details for their upcoming album, which will be entitled Clancy, along with the track list. I will say that I was a little bit surprised about the title, Clancy. It's just a name that's so heavily related to the lore, and you could argue that the other titles for the past albums were as well. But in those cases, I just felt like those titles had more relevance outside of the lore as well, whereas Clancy is just this proper noun, and I'm not sure if it has as much relevance outside of the lore. With that said, I did go over the meaning of that name in my last reaction, which was my reaction to The Outside, the music video. I guess you can argue that there is some relevance outside of the lore, but we'll have to wait to see what comes of all that. I will say that the choice of title for the video that was used to hype up the upcoming single and the upcoming album, I Am Clancy, is a good way to get people interested because, you're going to see that title, Clancy, and if you're not familiar with the lore, you're going to be wondering what that means. So the first thing you'll probably do is look up Clancy and 21 Pilots on YouTube, and the I Am Clancy video should show up. And at that point, you watch that video, and it might get people more interested in revisiting the lore, or in their case, just visiting the lore altogether and deep diving into that. So I do think it's a good way to get more people involved and interested in the lore and provide them with the information in a tangible way that gives them that additional perspective that the lore offers. But yeah, it's official. Now we know the album is entitled Clancy. We know it's being released on May 17th and it's available for pre-order. I personally already pre-ordered mine. I wanted to get the vinyl, but they had a version of the CD that comes with a journal that contains Clancy's letters, and that's just such a cool collector's piece. I had to go with that one, so I'll probably get the vinyl at a later time, but I'm just so excited about that journal. I haven't actually gone through all of Clancy's letters, so this will be a good way for me to kind of have it all I guess in chronological order because I haven't followed it properly. This will give me the chance to do so. But above all that, I'm just so excited for new 21 Pilots music. So, the album comes out on May 17th, but we have this single and we know that Overcompensate is the first track on the album. And you just know that that first track on a 21 Pilots album has so much significance. It introduces so many themes that you'll be exploring throughout the album. It's gonna give you a little bit of insight into the journey you're going on. So without further ado, let's begin our journey in the Clancy era with this music video, Overcompensate. Let's go. Beautiful water.
Kleine unheimliche Insel hat mich zu einer Waffe gemacht. Wir glauben beide.
I hear some French in there, but I can't make out what's being said. Oh wow, it's beautiful scenery. Neon gravestones. Oof. Heavy Dirty Soul vibes. Welcome back to Trench. Oh, keep some control. Oh, that's a perfect intro. Slow down.
Are my stripes 300 tracks and my Adidas track jacket? Bless your ear holes while you react acting. Gobsmacked, don't hesitate. Maybe overcompensate. I said I fly by the dangerous band symbol. Don't hesitate. Maybe overcompensate. Where I'm from, I was born right here just now. Originated right in front of your eyes. If you can't see, I am Clancy. Wanted dead or alive, so now you pick who you serve. You bow to the masses, get kicked to the curb. For passing the classes, half empty, half did the years seem way too short for my so-called song? Earn my stripes, 300 tracks in my Adidas track jacket. Bless your ear holes while you react acting. Gobsmacked, don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. I said I fly by
This track is so fun.
the symbol.
Just want to like jam out to it all day. Oh no.
Maybe overcompensate.
What was that? Oh. No, don't end it like that. Oh, come on. That's just rude. Oh man. That's so rough. So what were we seeing there? Like we see Clancy arriving somewhere and he's got the glowing yellow eyes with the antlers that Ned gave him, which gives him the power to seize or control people. And him having those yellow glowing eyes would suggest that he's controlling somebody. In a good chunk of the video, he's wearing a mask, and I'm guessing that behind that mask is the person that he's controlling. And the reason I'm led to believe that is because towards the end of the video, you have the mask coming off and you have somebody laying on the floor suggesting that they participated in vialism, which made their vessel available to use through seizing. So I'm guessing that Tyler/Clancy used the opportunity to seize that body and spread a message. Now, the people to whom he's spreading that message seems to be people who are stuck in Dima. That's what it looks like to me based on the garment. And that much makes sense to me, right? He's outside of Dima. He wants to help people break free from Dima, but doesn't necessarily want to go back there to do it, right? So now that he has this power of seizing, he could kind of help out people remotely. And to a degree, even he was helped out from a distance, right? The banditos held up their torches at the end of the outside, and that offered him insight as to where he needs to go to get to Trench. Based on the end of this video, it seems that Tyler and Josh are on their way to Trench, and Clancy is utilizing this newfound power to its fullest extent to his best benefit by continuing his route to Trench and bringing along more people, influencing more people to take that route with him. I really like how they portray that in the video, right? He's preaching to a bunch of students. He's holding a seminar. He goes to like this whiteboard thing and shows the symbolism. But with that said, as much as I can say that this music video provides us with answers to certain questions, I also feel like it provides us with more questions. I will say that was to be expected. It's not like this is the only music video we're gonna get. We're gonna get a continuation of this with another single at some point between now and album release. So I'm definitely looking forward to where the story goes from here. But the questions I have at this point are, who really is this Clancy person? Is he really good? You know, he's got these red stripes on. Clancy has these red stripes on. Why red? In the I Am Clancy video, he said that the banditos showed him their colors, right? And it was like yellow, and that was the color that defined the Trench era. Now in this era, it seems that red is going to be defining, the Clancy era, and that's the stripes that he's wearing. That's the color they are. They're red, and red goes back to Blurry Face. That was the color of that era. And one thing I noticed during the music video is at the earlier stages, the students, they just have their shirts. They don't have any tape on their shoulders. Later on in the video, they have that tape, and some are wearing the red tape, others are wearing yellow. Is there an important distinction between the two? I don't know. I feel like if I saw Clancy wearing both red and yellow, I'd be more trusting of him. But the fact that he's only wearing red is kind of alarming to me. And the smirk at the end of the video didn't help with that neither. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But for now, we don't really have enough information to make any conclusive remarks here. I feel like I'm just more comfortable going with what I was saying initially. It does seem like Clancy is utilizing his newfound power to help more people escape from Dima, as opposed to having the bishops utilize that power to encourage more people to come and, I guess, expand their influence. Here, Clancy is utilizing the power to expand a different type of influence and encourage more people to go to Trench, where it's more, where there's more freedom. So now I'd like to jump into the analysis portion of this video and explore the lyrical content of the song and see if that may offer a little more insight into what was going on in the music video. So we have an intro in 3 different languages. It appears to be German, French, and Spanish. The only one of the 3 that I can speak and understand is French, so I will do so. Cette petite île étrange a fait de moi une arme. Nous croyons tous les deux que nous pouvons l'utiliser pour changer l'élan de cette guerre. So that translates to "this strange island turned me into a weapon," which immediately brings me back to Never Take It from Scaled and Icy. And then the second half of it is saying that we both believe that we can use it to change the tides in this war, to change the momentum, shift the momentum. And judging from the Spanish version of it, it appears to be the same thing that's said in 3 languages. So I guess the way I read into that is Tyler and Josh are talking to the people. It's kind of like an introduction into what information they're going to be presenting to the people in those seminars. They're kind of informing the people that they too are now powerful, kind of like the bishops, and can utilize that power to change the way the war is going, and can offer more power to the banditos. And speaking of Bandito, we get a call back to the bridge of Bandito, the song off of Trench. Welcome back to Trench. I created this world to feel some control, destroy it if I want, so I sing Salo Folina. So I would say that's one of the main things that made me feel like Clancy's intentions are to bring the culture that the Banditos showed him and present it to the people that are stuck in Dima to show them what they're missing out on. Then we go into verse 1. He says, "Earn my stripes, 300 tracks in my Adidas track jacket. Bless your ear holes while you react acting. Don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. I feel like I was just here. Same twitch in my eyes. Don't sleep on a boy who can't fall asleep twice in the same night and won't hesitate to maybe overcompensate." The way I read into those lines is, at the beginning, "Earn my stripes, 300 tracks in my Adidas track jacket." To me, that sounds like he's saying he's produced all this music, he's made all this music that people enjoy and can relate to some extent, and it's basically him speaking from his reality. So any attention they've got through the music is well deserved. And then we have mention to the title of the track, Overcompensate. He says, "Don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate." And I found it a little funny that he said maybe, because right before that he said don't hesitate. It's kind of like he is hesitating and even presenting that information. But I do think it's of significance to go into what the term overcompensate signifies here. Like, we're already going into one of the themes that has been important throughout 21 Pilots' music, and that's the significance of music itself. Like, the first 2 lines already make reference to music when he's talking about blessing people's ear holes and talking about 300 tracks. Now, to step out of the music itself and the information we were provided through lyrical content and music videos and through the lore itself as well, stepping out of all that, in an interview with Zane Lowe, the Apple Music interview, he mentioned feeling the need to compensate as he transitioned from album to album. He saw it as a form of course correction in a way, and I think what he brought up was Blurryface in particular. He said there was like this meteoric rise to Blurryface, and it's something that he couldn't fully comprehend, but he was in it and he had to live with it, so it seemed like everything was cool, and he managed that successfully. But looking back, he felt like there was so much more that he could have done, and that's what Trench became. He was compensating for what he didn't do in Blurryface. What he felt like the world should have seen when all that attention was on him in Blurryface, he worked on and implemented into Trench so that they would hopefully see there. And in order to achieve that in Trench, he was talking about how he felt the need to push the envelope and really reinvent the wheel as far as song structure and songwriting goes. So that's what we were getting. That's what Trench represents in a way, right? If we're talking about this freedom that you can express in some way, if you're going to go deep into that, you're going into like hyper creativity, and that's what Trench represents to him. Then with Scaled and Icy, 21 Pilots kind of gave the flip side of that. They went for something a little more formulaic, something more traditionally familiar. So now bringing that into the current era where they're trying to get back to Trench, it would suggest that they're going back to the process that they were going through for Trench. To bring the song title back into that, they are now compensating for what they did in Scaled and Icy. Now stepping away from the theme of music, another theme that's brought in, another symbol, is the nighttime. That's another symbol we've seen time and time again through 21 Pilots music. Don't sleep on a boy who can't fall asleep twice in the same night. Don't sleep on him. Pay attention because he has useful information to provide you with. And again, going back to the music video, the information is information that these students will ultimately use to break free from DEMA. And again, stepping out of the context of DEMA, it's information that'll help people break free from the confines of negative thoughts. Then we get the chorus where he says, I said I fly by the dangerous bend symbol, don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate, and then by the time I catch in my peripheral, don't hesitate to maybe overcompensate. So that chorus, I guess it's making reference to their logo. I guess that's what the dangerous bend symbol is. I don't know if the meaning of the symbol has been explicitly mentioned and defined. The way I've always looked at it is like a symbol of supporting people. Like you have that vertical line that's just straight and is able to offer the bended line some type of support, and that's what the hyphen represents to me. And then the fact that in Trench, like with the logo, we have a multiplication of those lines. We have two straight vertical lines and two bended lines. It kind of shows that there's a focus on more people. We have the banditos, we have the people that are stuck in DEMA. Even with like the bishops, we only had a focus on Blurryface as the bad guy prior to Trench, and then afterwards or during Trench we have a focus on the bishops as a whole. And from that perspective, I could also see those bended lines as someone being pushed down. You could say that the bended line in like Blurryface is Blurryface being pushed down by Tyler or Clancy. You could say that the bended lines in Trench were the bishops getting pushed by the banditos. Now to jump into verse 2, he says, where am I from? I was born right here, just now, originated right in front of your eyes. If you can't see, I am Clancy, the prodigal son. Done running, come up with Josh Dunn, wanted dead or alive. So now you pick who you serve, you bow to the masses, get kicked to the curb for passing the classes, half empty, half full, save half of your taxes, then overtake your former self. So this really seems like an extension of the first verse. The first verse, he was like introducing himself and his relevance through the music that he makes. Verse 2 is expanding upon that and introducing Josh Dunn as well. And he's preaching to the people that they pick who they choose to believe. Then by the second half of the verse where he says, you bow to the masses, get kicked to the curb for passing the classes, I read into that as you can get by following what other people do. But if you do that, I'm not the one you should be listening to. Half empty, half full, save half of your taxes, then overtake your former self. When I hear that, I'm like brought back to like a lot of what he was saying back in Regional at Best, the self-titled album, probably Vessel as well. He was like really conflicted about who he was. Like, is what he portrays what he's judged upon, or is it what his thoughts are? And to what extent are his thoughts his own? The fact that he's made this world with Nico and the Bishops, does that mean that Nico and the Bishops define him? Or is the fact that there's a Clancy and the Banditos, does that good overtake the bad? Or does the fact that there's bad altogether make him bad? There was just like this struggle between good and bad within him, and he wasn't sure which of the two defined him more. And there was like this guilt behind all of it where he just felt like guilty that the bad existed altogether. So to protect himself from that, he wore the mask and portrayed something that he felt the world wanted to see from him. So the whole half empty, half full thing, that speaks to that in my mind. It's like he could see it as he's good. He could also see it as he's bad. He's not sure which of the two he is. But save half of your taxes, like take whatever you can muster up, save it and utilize it, overtake your former self, utilize it to better yourself, give yourself a chance at being something more than what you currently are. Then we get the chorus again, and then we go into the bridge. Days feel like a perfect length. I don't need them any longer, but for goodness sake, do the years seem way too short for my soul? Corazon. I think that's like heart, right? In Spanish. I should probably Google that just to make sure. Yeah, heart. There we go. Get back to the lyrics. And then he just repeats himself for the rest of the bridge. Then we get him reiterating the beginning of the song, the part about earning his stripes. And we get the chorus again. So yeah, that's pretty much the lyrics for the song. What I make of it is we're getting a song where he's introducing himself, and that makes a lot of sense as the introductory point of the album. The album is called Clancy. He's telling you who Clancy is. And who is Clancy? Well, Clancy is the person who contributed to 300 tracks. He wrote the lyrics to the songs you were listening to in the 21 Pilots albums. The journeys you've gone on by listening to those albums, well, those were taking place in worlds that he created. He also talks about Josh Dun in there, right? So yeah, this is 21 Pilots. This is their album. They're about to take you on another journey, and this is why they have significance. This is why you should be listening to them, so listen up. And that just seems to fit really well with the music video as well, because, you know, they're just coming into this hall where you have these people sitting down ready to listen to him and Josh Dun, and to have like that second half of verse 2 be like the defining point of whether you should be in that classroom or not. It just feels so significant and speaks so much to what we get out of the lore, while also speaking to, you know, I guess themes we got in the prior albums as well that didn't seem so embedded in the lore at the time, but as we've progressed through time, it seems like they found a way to integrate it within the lore. In my last video, the reaction to the music video to The Outside, I was talking about the meaning of the name Clancy and how it relates to clarity, and how clarity relates to, you know, the title of the last track on Regional at Best, Clear. You go to the lyrics of that. Introspection is the name of this session. Spread this infection reflected on the next one. That just speaks so much to how I even interpreted this music video and the content of the song. It's like he's gathering these people who have the chance to break free from Dima. People who have the chance to break free from the influence of their negative thoughts that makes them feel like they have to act a certain way, and that any thought that they have that contradicts those thoughts are bad. He's offering them a path to clarity, like just an opportunity to express themselves in a way that they could explore something different. And what's the purpose of all that? Well, Tyler fundamentally believes that you need to have the answer to the questions, where's your home, why are you here? And you also need to know whether you're being sincere in answering those questions. You need to be honest to yourself. And in being honest with yourself and actually exploring that, really pushing yourself to find the answers to that, you should be on the right path to finding yourself. And furthermore, in the context of Trench and Dima and the lore overall, this is going to offer you your path to Trench. Now, just to circle back and bring it all back to the title of the track, Overcompensate, at times it's going to feel like you're compensating for something else. It's going to feel like if you're going on this journey, you have to do something to balance out what you were doing before. That's what it's going to look like. But it seems that he's preaching that you can't hesitate to overcompensate. And he does put a little bit of hesitation in there, though. He says maybe. I guess you'll have to call it into question at some point, but you'll kind of have to you'll have to evaluate that for yourself. The point is, it's going to look like you're compensating for something else, and it's going to look like you're acting so differently from how you were acting before. But if you're going to break free and at least offer yourself a chance at a different perspective to evaluate things from a different light, you can't be afraid to overcompensate at times. And that's what I thought of the song. That's what I made of the lyrics. That's what I thought of the music video. We're definitely back on the journey to Trench, and I'm very much looking forward to whatever comes next. I'm very much looking forward to listening to this track many more times. I loved it. Love the sound of it. Like I said, it's like it feels like Heavy Dirty Soul again, and I love that song. It was basically my introduction to 21 Pilots, so to have something feel like that is nostalgic while also being something new, and it's just this really interesting feeling. I can't wait to see what the rest of the album holds. But yeah, let me know what you thought. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time. Have a great day, y'all.